Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
It's kind of like shocking that somebody would have that big of a heart to do that. And I'm very grateful for that, because that gives us an option to have a more open mind to adopt.
An anonymous donor has promised to pay for any adoption fees to any pet available at Fix West Texas. We have more details on this generous donation coming up in just a few minutes here on CBS 7 News at 9. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the CW, and thanks to those of you who are joining us live on our CBS 7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks, and we start tonight tracking crime. You're looking at Michael Nash, or you're about to see him. He escaped from the Midland County Detention Center last night at around 7:30 by manipulating a secure door. Less than 24 hours later, after his escape, Nash was located and captured in the 1700 block of South Midkiff Road. Nash was being held for theft over $100 and under $750, evading arrest or detention in a motor vehicle, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, evading arrest or detention. He also has out-of-county warrants for forgery of a financial instrument. Across West Texas, Fort Stockton's movie theater, Panther Pictures, announcing today that the city has terminated its lease contract with the theater, citing, quote, failure to establish an amicable landlord-tenant relationship, end quote. In a Facebook post, the theater management says they are extremely disappointed in city leadership. The post continued saying, in part, we believe that we have provided a valuable service to Fort Stockton by managing the movie theater in an ethical, professional, and successful manner. We deeply apologize to our employees and thank you for being a crucial part of our success, end quote. The theater's last showing will be on December the 31st. Across the state, Texas DPS troopers and Tom Green County Sheriff's deputies have secured the site of a private plane crash on a ranch south of Christoval this afternoon. According to Texas DPS, there were no survivors.
All those details are going to have to be investigated by the FAA and NTSB. So we're going to let them conduct their investigation, and they can give that information when that investigation is concluded.
Members of the Christoval Volunteer Fire Department and San Angelo Fire also responded to the site located off Duff Road on private property. Local investigators are now waiting for federal agents to arrive. We now turn to continuing coverage on the Ector County Utility District, or ECUD. Earlier today, Ector County staff filed a letter with the Secretary of State and the Texas Attorney General asking for guidance on allegations of ECUD board misconduct, improper elections, and Open Meetings Act violations. The request for opinion includes 5 pages with 3 main questions. Did ECUD violate the Open Meetings Act when they barred locals from entering their November 8th meeting? Have any of the board's vacancies been improperly filled? And has the board committed misconduct through various allegations? But all of those questions are twofold. If so, what can be done and who should do it?
We laid everything out, everything that has been brought forward to us, and we laid all of them out there in question format. We provided background, we provided the statutes, and then we provided the questions on each of these elements. And as to, let's get that clarity that we talked about a few months ago. And ultimately, I think that they will provide us some clarity on all of these different questions that we have.
It could take up to 6 months for the Attorney General to respond. The judge also asked the Texas Secretary of State to provide guidance on when the board should hold elections. West Odessa residents have pled with the court and other officials to get involved, but ultimately the Commissioner's Court decided not to step in earlier this month. Take a look at this. It's from the Marines to the oil field and now to working in the sky. Sammy Medina always wanted to be a pilot, and now his dream is his new job. After high school, Medina joined the Marines with the goal of becoming a pilot, but instead of flying planes and helicopters, he started jumping out of them. Originally from Dallas-Fort Worth, Medina served in the Marine Corps from 2005 to 2013. After leaving the military, he and his wife moved to Odessa, where he could work in the oil field while taking flying lessons on his off days.
Because it's one of those things you do in life that you just, you completely love. There's nothing else like it. Flying, aviation, the aviation industry in a whole is just, it's amazing. And so when I started, looking at flying, there was a no-brainer. It's like, that's what I want to do when for the rest of my life.
When his children started getting older, he said he started the flight school hoping to one day teach his own children how to fly. Teaching people how to fly is something he always dreamed of, and it's something that he can now look back on and be proud of doing.
Looking back is just, it's one of those things in my life that I really enjoyed accomplishing. When I turn, 70, 80 years old, I want to look back and say, oh, man, I did something that I really loved doing and that really made me happy. And now I'm doing it. Took a lot of work to get to this point, but being able to do it now, it's just, you can't beat it.
To get your private license, it is a minimum of 40 flight hours. To get your commercial license, you can make money from flying. It's a minimum of 150 flight hours. In your travel news, Delta Airlines is adding flights from Austin to Midland International Air and Spaceport and back. The airline says it is planning a 20% increase in seat capacity over July of 2023. It is also expanding flights from Austin to McAllen. Time now to talk your weather forecast as we head into the weekend. What can we expect? Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller joined us now with the answer. Tom?
Well, a much nicer day today across the area thanks to a cold front that moved through overnight last night. It did have a few showers with it, just some trace amounts across the Permian Basin, but across the eastern Permian Basin, over in Howard County and Big Spring, 11 1/100ths of an inch of rain, 33 1/100ths in the Big Lake area. So we did see some welcome rains and some cooler temperatures out there. As highs today only into the lower 50s across the Permian Basin. A little bit milder as the cool air hadn't quite made it in across portions of the Trans-Pecos a little bit earlier today. But it does look like some great weather is on the way for your weekend, as we're going to see a continuation of these temperatures. Very nice, very seasonable. Another cold front on the way for Monday. We'll drop temperatures a few degrees, but as we get in towards the start of the Christmas countdown into next week, looking at some pretty quiet conditions all the way through the start of winter, and then a few changes for the start of the Christmas weekend we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes.
During the holidays, many people are feeling generous and wanting to give back to their community, which is exactly what one person did by donating money to Fix West Texas. The anonymous donor decided to pay for any adoption fees for anyone that adopts pets from Fix West Texas or the Midland Animal Services. Since the leaders at Fix West Texas got on the call on Wednesday, people have been flocking to their clinic to adopt pets. The donor saw a post about Midland Animal Services needing the dogs and cats that stay in their facility to get adopted. It's a big gesture during the holiday season for a big problem facing the Basin.
We've had quite a few here through Fix West Texas. We've done about 12 adoptions in the past few days. Thanks to our donor. Midland Animal Services has reached out to us quite a few times with people going out to the shelter wanting to adopt a pet. So I know there's been quite a few through them as well.
Meek says the shelters really fill up this time of year due to people not being around to adopt pets or people surrendering their new pets during the holidays. Odessa College's automation and instrumentation programs got a big boost this week. In fact, Chevron donating over $125,000 to support the programs not just in Odessa, but Pecos and Andrews as well. OC's VP of Advancement says these donations from industry partners make a lasting impact on students. We are 10 days away from Christmas Day, and students from Faskin Elementary School delivered toys to the Midland Memorial Hospital Pediatric Unit. The toy drive was organized by Faskin 6th grader Lainey Salazar, and she organized this toy drive to give to kids in the hospital by giving them a Christmas gift. When she was just 5, Lainey spent 4 weeks in the hospital with a ruptured appendix. During that time in the hospital, she received toys from Janet's Closet, and she wanted to spread the joy she felt to others.
I hope it makes them feel better, because sometimes when you're in the hospital, it makes you just feel really down, so it can make their day.
Salazar's collected toys since she left the hospital. Texas State Board has also recognized her work as a student hero. With Christmas just a little more than a week away, the time to ship your gifts is now. In fact, about 82 million packages a day will be shipped during this month's peak. That's about 4 million of them that will pass through the UPS Mega Hub in Louisville, Kentucky per day. The packages come in by truck and by plane, get sorted by zip code, and then loaded into giant shipping containers for an airplane out of town, all in less than 4 hours. And while it can be nerve-wracking to wait for your package to arrive, there is some joy in the deliveries.
It is a joy to take packages from A to B and and get them underneath the Christmas tree at the right time, in the right place.
The cutoff for 3-day shipping is Tuesday, and next day shipping is Thursday. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers at CBS7.com. See all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. Still ahead, we are keeping an eye on your money with a look at what the economy is looking like this holiday season. The story is coming up. And winter weather is upon us, so we want to make sure that you're prepared. Tune in to CBS 7 next Thursday, December 21st, which is the first day of winter for Winterize. With the CBS 7 First Alert weather team, we'll have a season futurecast plus tips and tricks on keeping yourself safe. Some good news if you're hitting the road for the holidays. According to AAA, the average price of a gallon of gas in the U.S. is $3.09. That's down 25 cents from a month ago. And as Molly Martinez reports from our Washington, D.C. bureau, it is a sign of a strengthening economy.
This time last year, the economic outlook was pretty bleak, with many economists predicting an imminent recession. But now, there's a different story.
We are looking at a strong economy with a particularly strong job market. The unemployment rate has been below 4% for 22 months in a row. That's a 50-year record.
According to mortgage giant Freddie Mac, rates fell below 7% for the first time since August. On Wall Street, industrial averages posted record highs this week. And according to the Commerce Department, retail sales rebounded last month 3% after seeing an October decline. White House economic advisor Jared Bernstein points to cooling inflation.
Whether it's TVs and toys, eggs to apples, those prices are coming down.
Another reason, careful needle threading by the Federal Reserve. By holding interest rates steady, they were able to hit a sweet spot that they're calling a soft landing.
Our economy is 70% consumer spending, okay? That's a lot more than others. And that means that if you have a healthy consumer, again, that creates economic momentum, and we're seeing that thus far around the holidays.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office predicts that the economy will grow 1.5% in 2024 and 2.2% the year after. At the White House, I'm Molly Martinez.
Some nice changes coming up for the weekend. We'll talk about those in the forecast through Christmas coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we are looking at a beautiful evening out in Starbright Village. Let's take a look outside as we're seeing temperatures dropping down into the mid-40s at McKinney Park right now. And you can see these beautiful sights and sounds of Christmas over at Starbright Village. It's McKinney Park on the south side of the city of Odessa. Every evening through January 1st from 6 to 11 o'clock in the evening. So try to get out there and enjoy that. We'll have some great weather for it here over the next couple of days. As we are going to be looking out on the weather makers, again, this storm system moving out to the north and northeast. As that happens, we are going to be looking for this system to pull away from the area. There's going to be a dry northwest flow in the upper levels behind it. That's going to make for a nice, clear weekend for the most part. Lots of sunshine on the way. May see a couple of high clouds sneak in coming up on Saturday, but overall this ridge of high pressure is really going to be controlling our weather. Across the state of Texas today, we saw most of the rain push off to the east associated with that cold front that left West Texas high and dry across the area. So again, we are looking at pretty quiet conditions and temperatures today across the state. Mid to upper 50s across the northern half of the state. South Texas still not feeling the effects of a front just yet, all the way up to 81 down towards Brownsville a little bit earlier today. And not much cloud cover in the forecast overnight tonight into the early morning hours on Saturday. So the clear skies will allow plenty of radiational cooling with the light winds, and temperatures are going to drop off into the lower 30s overnight tonight. We may see a few more high clouds try to move in late tomorrow into Sunday, but overall, though, it does look like it is going to be pretty quiet here over the next couple of days. Rest of tonight, again, rather cold, mid to lower 30s on the way by the early morning hours. May see a light freeze across parts of southeast New Mexico, Pecos Valley, and also into the mountain areas, looking for that. Then tomorrow, temperatures back into the 60s. So again, fantastic conditions this weekend. There's another cold front on the way that is going to bring cooler temperatures to our forecast into the mid-50s coming up on Monday. But then we'll see temperatures a little milder, a little more seasonable, though, as we move in towards the start of winter, which is coming up on Thursday. Next strong cold front looks to be Friday into Saturday. Not a lot on the way of cool air, but we may see a few showers with that. But the good news is things clear out just in time for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Still to come, the UTPB Lady Falcons looking for their fourth straight win. We have your highlights and more in your First Alert Sports here on CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW.
Time now for CBS7 First Alert Sports.
The Texas Tech Red Raiders football team finished their season with a 6-6 record, which means that they were bowl eligible as they concluded their regular season. They hit the road this past week and are in Shreveport, Louisiana to prepare for the Independence Bowl. Our sister station, KCBD in Lubbock, is out in Shreveport and has more on the Red Raiders as they prepare for tomorrow night's game.
Good morning from Shreveport, Louisiana. Pete Christie and Zach Fox with Red Raider coverage as they prepare for the bowl game.
Absolutely, and looking ahead to their 41st bowl game as a program and their third straight as they're going to take on Cal on Saturday at 8:15.
Yesterday, the Red Raiders got to practice at Independence Stadium. Super pumped for the opportunity to play a Power 5 team like the Golden Bears. Both teams 6-6, both have incredible running backs. It's going to be an outstanding game. And for the Red Raiders, it's another chance for these brothers to play this game of football.
Honestly, a big part of it is that we are all the team that's still here. We love each other. This culture is still very strong. And so we're excited to go in this bowl game and do what we do at the level that we know that we can.
They're really explosive in the run game, and their running backs very well. The quarterback throws the ball really well. I know he's young, but I mean he's doing all the stuff you need to do to win games. And so as long as we can contain the run, I think we have a shot.
And with three players actually playing from the Shreveport area when they were younger, one of them we spoke to yesterday is Macho Stevenson. More than happy to be able to make his Red Raider debut with his family now in attendance.
It's very fortunate. After a long season, you wouldn't think that you'll be going back to your hometown. Being in Independence is like a great feeling again. I played here most of my high school games, so it's like coming back home is like another homecoming. I'm excited because my family, they all get to be here instead of having to drive 8 hours to get to Lubbock. So yeah, it's a great feeling. It's kind of, I got a warm heart for it because like the city like these type of events is a city that needs a lot of support. Like it's just great to bring out the community and have something good for them, some entertainment for them.
Coming up later today, we'll hear from both head coaches at the final press conferences. And then later tonight, it's the Battle of the Bands, the Goin' Band from Raiderland, fresh off being in the Thanksgiving Day Parade, taking on the Cal Golden Bear Band in a Battle of the Bands here in Shreveport. We'll have more coverage coming up tonight in Shreveport. We'll send it back to you.
Kickoff between the Red Raiders and Golden Bears will be at 8:15 tomorrow night. Still ahead, is it Superman or is it Santa Claus? Mr. Kringle scaled a wall in Colorado today. More on that coming up.
Well, it does look like a great weekend, as this is going to be a big shopping weekend. Last minute details just in time for Christmas. Well, the weather's going to cooperate with you, with temperatures into the mid 60s. A bit of a cool down with a front coming up on Monday. But overall, pretty smooth sailing weather-wise all the way into the start of winter, which is coming up on Thursday of next week. Another cold front on the way on Friday will bring a few showers to the forecast and just slightly cooler temperatures. But it does look like things will start to clear out just in time for the weekend before Christmas, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, as temperatures again will be a little cooler just in time for Christmas, again coming up a week from this Monday.
Hard to believe Christmas is right around the corner. Santa Claus looked more like Spider-Man or maybe even Batman today as he brought cheer to the Children's Hospital in Colorado Springs. Take a look at that view there from atop the building. He rappelled from the roof down the face of the hospital building as patients and their families watched from their rooms. Imagine that view as he's coming by and all of a sudden there he is in your window. A small crowd even gathered outside for Santa's big rappel. Two of Santa's helpers dressed like him made separate descents down the building. The appearance was part of the hospital's 4th annual Christmas parade past the hospital. About 100 families currently have kids being treated at the hospital, and organizers say the rappelling could become an annual holiday event. Thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. More news coming up tonight at 10.